Hello, everyone. OPTECH 2025. GNI.
Yeah,
2024.
2024.
I'm ahead of time. I got ahead of myself. We had a few technical difficulties. Looks like we beat them. We're about to enter the expo floor right now and chat with a lot of people.
Yeah, we want to walk through and see what's going on. I mean, I think what's interesting, I was walking the floor yesterday. I kept thinking about, like, why would I buy these problems? Right? Why would I buy these solutions? And it was interesting to kind of it would be helpful to get us a run through of all the vendors and see what's revenue, what's OpEx, what's cash management, and split them up that way.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's on the surface, they all got to solve one of those three problems.
Yeah. And also, should we ask them how do they sell to operators?
100%.
What's
Let's do
the
that. Let's do that. All right, let's go.
We learn something, right?
We learn something every day. You got it.
All right.
Please don't get dizzy.
Follow us.
We'll start here at the funnel booth. I think this is one of the best booths I've seen in a long time.
Guys, go to that one.
All right. Going to the next entrance.
There we go. I'm glad we got it all up and running.
Yep.
Finally. A few technical difficulties there.
It's OPTECH, right?
Yeah, no kidding. So far, a very good show. We had some good conversations yesterday with operators, and obviously running a lot of other vendors and having those conversations. But so far, it's been incredibly productive.
It's been an amazing conference for me too so far. So
yeah.
What are you saying? First stop fundraising?
Let's go start by funnel. They're usually pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I got it, again, outstanding job with their booth. Absolutely kicked ass.
Ready for an interview, buddy?
Hey guys.
Hey. How's it going?
We're great. We're in a stadium. Look at that.
Yeah, I think we were saying the funnel, your booth is outstanding. You guys kicked ass this year.
Thank you, man.
It's a really good job.
I'll let you ask the questions.
So one of the things we're asking around to talk to people is, like, what's the principal problem you guys solve?
Well, we're really talking about centralization a lot today. That's
like
the whole theme of the booth, and the way our software is architected, it's very different from anything else, and it really helps you centralize specialized roles, get away from data redundancy and issues that other people have in their software. So why a lot of people are talking to us is around centralization and solving.
And specifically leasing.
It's leasing kind of through the resident life cycle.
Right.
But yeah, particular leasing, it all starts there. Our foundational product is a CRM, and then a lot of folks layer AI tools on top of that and some resident functionality. But it all starts with leasing and the teams and a better resident and renter experience.
Gotcha. Cool. Excellent. Thanks very much.
Yeah. What has been giving you the greatest success when you do a sales pitch? Like, how do you address the pain points, or what is the golden key that opens all the doors, or most of them?
Honestly, it's different for everybody. There's questions that you could ask around retention and staffing issues, which everyone has to a degree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that opens up a lot of conversation. General efficiencies and cost savings, everybody's always interested in that. And then more the marketing folks who are looking at direct-to-consumer relationships, they want a national, consistent brand voice coming out, not individual properties owning the relationship. So if they're interested in solving any of those, or they're having problems with those issues, that's usually why they talk to us.
What deals go the fastest, sell the fastest? The revenue ones, the OpEx ones, the resident experience ones?
That's a good question. I haven't looked at it in that respect, but in general, when people, it's a little bit harder for us, right? Because we're a CRM, so people are not shopping for a CRM every day,
right?
And it's one of the last things you want to switch out. So
sure,
a little bit of a timing issue for us at times, but often when folks are already thinking about the CRM, it speeds deals up pretty significantly. And then I would say it's around shifting to an off-site specialized role, as that's the future. Talk to this 1-to-100 agent unit ratio. Those deals go.
What's going on in their business that makes them want to go and shop for a CRM or solve those problems?
It's usually a confluence of things. It's everywhere from our costs are too high, our headcount's too high, we want to save marketing dollars, our renters and residents report that the experience is terrible or very siloed,
Yep.
or our teams can't find out what is going wrong. We know something's going wrong. We can't pinpoint it because the data is different in multiple systems. People count things differently. Reporting is very inconsistent.
Right. All headaches in managing. So ultimately, when they come down to underwriting or lender conversation, they don't have enough data to actually accurately go for money.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Let me get your name.
Alex.
Alex.
Sorry, it's right
Auction
here.
Funnel. There we go.
See
Thanks,
you around,
Alex.
buddy. See you around.
We'll catch you up in a bit. Let's keep walking around. Thanks.
All right.
Take care. Interesting. He's right in that, like, you're not shopping for CRM every day.
Do you want to leave your bag at our booth? How are you?
Well, what up?
How's it going, everybody?
Hey,
Joseph
Joseph.
Mack here. Adrian,
Joseph,
good to see you.
Gatewise.
What's the biggest pain point that your customers have, and how do you solve it?
Cost to replace old, outdated systems that aren't serviceable anymore. So we have a low-cost cellular solution that accomplishes that and future-proofs the asset and creates a better resident experience getting in and out of the community.
How do you sell them with a one-line golden statement, golden phrase?
Eliminate clickers, call boxes, and fobs, and residents open up gates and doors with your phone. We'll fix your gates.
Oh, there you go.
You're at 345, right?
Yes, 345, correct.
345. It's the booth. Check out Gatewise, our friends, amazing people,
Awesome
and
stuff.
amazing product, especially for BNC product, like for BNC apartment communities retrofits. That's
Correct.
what you do best.
Retrofits 80 to 90% of our business, but we cover all asset classes. Come stop by and learn more.
You got it. Good to see you,
Thank
man.
you.
All right.
Likewise.
Joseph. Cheers, man. Cheers.
So,
Interesting.
sweet spot.
Yeah,
Check
sweet
out these
spot.
guys. That's sweet spot. They're Canadians, just
Yeah,
like
tell
you.
me this before.
Hey, Adrian.
How's it
good to
going,
see you.
buddy?
Hey,
Good to see
Guillermo, how you
you,
doing? Hey, congrats on you guys' raise.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys just closed a round
Series A with RET.
RET like 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah.
last,
Awesome. We're walking around talking to folks about the problems they solve specifically. So what's
Yeah.
sweet spot? What's the problem you guys solve?
So sweet spot, we solve a lot of the pains people have with maintenance. So we find a lot of the time, it's not that people haven't put in the time to build their SOPs. They know exactly how things need to be done, whether it's a work order, what steps they need to follow to close it out in 24 hours, or for a term, what it needs to be 5 days or 14 or 21, whatever they're doing for their schedule.
Yeah.
The problem is actually when the rubber hits the road in the field, there's 50 other things that the technicians are doing. They have paperwork they have to do. They have to update the CRM. They have to update the PMS. They have to do 50 different things. What Sweet Spot does, it gives them one place to do everything. So everything from work orders, inspections, PMs, turns, up to the bigger end, full-on capital project and renovation project work. But everything goes back to the PMS. Everything goes back to all the different systems that people work in. So whether it's the leasing team looking at the CRM, knowing that the ready date or the expected ready date in there is accurate so they can start pre-leasing, whether it's somebody from management that wants to see, okay, look at my properties, who's performing the best right now, who's hitting their turn times, where are my outliers, or whether it's somebody who's regional overseeing a centralized team and they want to see, okay, for my guys here, who's doing the best on their turn times. If you're bonusing on things like how many work orders come in 7 days after a move-in, so we know our turns are good. You can actually see that data. It's not an exercise of someone spending a week at the end of every quarter putting all this together and no one looks at the report. It's somebody logging into a dashboard that's already there. With our new AI tools, even if that report doesn't exist yet, you can just ask, sweet spot, which properties are performing the best on turn times, which ones are spending the least with vendors for the rent lift they're getting. You can see everything that's going on in the field. So
when does a customer or prospect start considering sweet spot? What's going on in their business?
So usually it's when they've reached a certain scale. So, depending on the structure of the business, that might be when they start spreading out to multiple states, multiple cities. Just when they get to a point where they have a big enough portfolio that it makes sense to centralize, but they need the tools to do that. Because again, they know what those workflows need to be. But if you want one property manager managing 6 properties, you need to be able to handle the chargeback, the turn schedules, the vendor work, all of those things.
Right.
They need a tool to do that. They have the skills. They just need a tool to do that without it being an extra 30 hours a week.
Gotcha. So they often find that like they're unable to do that. Like they're trying to grow. They're trying to what's the principal motivator? Are they trying to grow, or are they trying to get more efficient?
So it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. There is due diligence tools involved. So being able to, walk a property, build out your PIP, look 3 years out, see your cash flows and figure out, okay, we got 100 units here. We're renovating 30 of them. We're doing a partial on 20 and we're just doing lease up on the rest to be able to build those plans out. But a lot of it's efficiency because for these guys, if we're talking 10, 20, 30,000 units, even saving a single day per turn is going to mean millions of dollars back to them. In a lot of cases, we're able to cut turn times in half.
So OPEX NOI.
Yeah.
Right. Got it.
So,
Cool.
Great seeing you, bud.
Yeah.
always
Great
good to
seeing
see
you.
Adrian. I'll give you that back then.
All right.
Good
Take
to see you,
care.
man.
Likewise.
Good to see you guys.
Cheers. We had a conversation with them a few years.
This guy have a lot of balls around here.
Yeah. Well, they had a great round. They
Should
just
we start? Should we switch?
sure. I'll hold.
Yeah.
You bet.
Let's do like 2 and 2.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Becomes I think I have more done in a minute.
All right. Let's go. Let's keep going. How is Airbnb in the release? Hey guys.
Hey guys.
How you doing, Adam? You're on.
We're live on LinkedIn. We're live. If you want.
Yeah, you're live.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey guys, this is
Good.
Adam from Elise AI.
We're here at OPTECH. The energy levels are high. The Elite AI team is ready to go. Revolutionizing the multifamily industry. We have Julia Titian here, Lindsay Bowman, the whole team.
All right, so
Tell
what
us
do
a
you
little bit about what you do. What
Yeah.
Elisa AI
why do
does.
customers buy you?
People buy us to increase operational efficiency and really just reduce redundancies across the board. We're a full resident lifecycle management platform, automating workflows for our clients, and really just looking to help prospective residents find an apartment and helping retain them and improve the resident experience as well.
What are you learning to be like the golden line when you talk to potential clients and convince them to, to consider using your platform?
Again, it's really all about automating workflows and not only increasing net retention at the property level on the resident side, but also increasing the employee satisfaction by automating redundant, mundane tasks that they often have to do on repeat. We're able to make it so that they are doing more higher ROI activities.
Do you have a way to kind of aggregate all the software that they're using and like put it all into one dashboard?
Yeah, exactly. We actually recently rolled it. Well, we've had our CRM for a while, but we've really been building it out, and it's gone to the point where it's really on par, in my opinion, automating more tasks than some of the other big competitors in space.
Adam, great seeing you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Adam. All right, take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
Oh, yeah, we got him. There we go. CRM. The big theme was all this automation for people, right?
Yeah.
Reducing OpEx. I thought on Funnel we'd hear more about the leasing experience being their primary driver versus the CRM. Like I think that's what I read about Funnel. That's the best in the world at, right? Is the AI leasing experience. So to hear more about their CRM side is news to me. I don't consider Funnel as a CRM. I think of it as a leasing management. That's just my take.
Got it.
What do you know about? I mean, I don't know too much. That's how I read them, right?
Not familiar enough to have an opinion on that, but hey, how's it
Hi,
going,
what's up, these guys?
Brian,
Hey guys.
we're
Nice to meet
friends on LinkedIn.
Yeah, John.
Sure. Hey,
Hey,
tell us a
Brian.
little bit about
Hey, what's going on?
You guys are live on LinkedIn here.
Revo.
Yeah,
Revo.
Yeah, tell us about Revo.
All right, sure. So we're an access control security company. We've been around for 20 years. We're one of the first ones to utilize the cloud, and we also have a huge suite of options in terms of third-party API connections with partners for software integrations, as well as our sister company Eagle Eye that allows us to take in their camera footage into our software and then allow you to utilize our access control events linked into camera events, so that every time you have an event within your system, you can pull up that camera footage lickety split.
There's a lot of companies like yours, a lot of competition in the space, right? If I'm a client, potential client, how do you convince me? I'm asking you the question, why Revo?
I'd say the reason why to go with Revo these days is that we've consolidated multiple softwares into one platform, so that we're not always going out there and developing everything. We're working with third-party integrators that have that software as their focus, and then we make sure that we have a software integration with them, so we pull their software into our platform. So you can have basically our software as the base or the rock that you build your church on, and then you build out to a bunch of other softwares that allow you to do, parking management, camera control, as well as rent management, as well as unit management for multifamily buildings. So thermostat control, lock control. So as an example, let's say for a multi-tenant building, if you were to utilize some of our partners like My Door View's Intercom, My Door View would pull up from our directory list of users. So you go to My Door View, you can pull up a user and say, hey, I'm here to visit you. It sends a ping out to their phone, which they have their Revo mobile pass, which is our mobile credential.
Right.
They can allow that person to come in, and then that person could go through the front door, up the elevator to your unit, And that's kind of what our system would allow from a guest pass expectation. So that's the beauty of our system, is that we're the base, and we can bring in a lot of other softwares to make sure that you have a really full encompassing system. And the final beauty point is that you're not logging into 5 other softwares. You're logging into ours, because it's hooked onto all these other things. You're learning one software.
So the principal reason they buy is to solve an access control problem, and then from there you can radiate outwards and connect all the other all the other softwares they're working with right
Yes,
at
sir.
that moment. Gotcha. So they're looking for an access control problem. They find that if they're searching on the web for, I need an access control solution. You guys show up, have the conversation, and they solve the access control problem. And at which point, then you can
Branch out.
you can dial into.
Well, we also
OTs.
we're here also to show off our multifamily solution. It's our newer software that we're bringing in. And like I said, the beauty of it is that we already have our sister company, Eagle Eye, that pulls in camera footage.
Yeah.
And now we have our own suite of unit control amenities, like you can see over there, with our thermostat control, as well as like lock control for things. So once again, we're developing some of our own software just to make sure that's all in-house. And like I said, the big benefit these days is consolidation of resources, because when you have property managers across the country, do you want them having to learn like 5 different systems and 5 different logins?
Right.
And as well as one of the bigger benefits, in my opinion, is what I said earlier, is that when we have an access control event,
Sure. Yeah.
so as an example,
There we go.
When you get tired,
We
you
got-
let me know.
yeah, sorry for
I know, no worries.
having to basically imagine you're seeing valid access here, but the bigger thing is when you link in Eagle Eye with cameras, I can just click here and it'll pull up the video footage of the event. So instead of having to log into, so imagine I'm using a different system, I could find that valid access, but it wouldn't be locked in with your cameras.
Yeah.
So now I got to go to my camera software and then find that exact event and that exact timing, and then find the camera footage.
Right.
So this is just an easier solution for basically showing the event, we're linking it to a camera, and you pull it immediately. And if you want even a longer time of that particular footage, I can just go to the video tab here, and then I could pull up the cameras, or I could pull up the camera reports from recording and stuff like that. And then finally, like in terms of integrations and stuff like that, I just got here. I'm going to show how many configurations. These are all third-party software integrations that we've linked into this account.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is like, also, and to finally kind of top it off, we have an open API integration. So that means that any new developers that want to come to us, we're willing to work with them to help develop that software so they can work with our system. So
Very cool.
having open systems means that like we're not always looking to compete with everyone. We're
Yeah.
looking to work hand in hand, because at the end of the day, we want what's best for the customer.
I love it, John. Thank you for
Very
taking
cool.
the time
Thanks,
with
Sean.
us today.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Take care. Cheers.
You too. Let me know when you want to switch, because I know it's going to be demanding man, on your hand. We'll
Oh,
switch.
Well, I start shaking. All right, guys. How you doing?
Going live? Are you doing your
We're
live?
live.
Hi,
Hey, Larry. I'm Guillermo. How you doing,
Hi.
Larry?
Tell us
Jeff?
a little bit about Vanya.
Let's go with the water fountain here. Over here.
Our koi pond.
The koi pond, right here.
All right.
Tell us about propelling.
Tell us a little bit about your company. What do you guys do?
Banyan Utility Company is a national provider of billing and utility services all over the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. We make the utility billing piece very simple and very easy for all the owners and developers around the country. Instead of you doing the work of your utility provider, we actually do it. Think of it like having your own SVP of utility management. We do it for you for free. We then send out all the bills and everything to your residents and help you recoup money.
Basically, outsource the headache, right?
Outsource all the headache and all the things that you ever wish your partner would do. We actually do the work for you instead of you partnering with a company and then you get to do all the work for them.
So why is it a problem now?
It's a problem now because companies don't find out till afterwards when there's been a spike in electric usage or
Right.
water usage or leaks. They find out 3 or 4 months later and then have to go back and fight. We pull directly from all these companies so that the minute there's a problem, we notify the properties so they can proactively fix it before the final bill goes out.
Gotcha.
And remember, billing is simple, but if you bill wrong 1 month, it's going to bill wrong the second month, the third month, the fourth month. So we handle it right at the source. That's what we do.
Supposed to be a potential customer, right? And I'm coming to you. Can I ask you a simple question? Why Banyan? what is your response? What's your golden line
Yeah.
to convince me that I should be using your company? I know that there's quite a bit of competition out there.
Yeah. There's one huge company in the industry that does it. The thing that we do better than anyone else is actually provide the customer service that you need, your property needs, and mostly your residents need. Right now, if there's a problem, they have to call your managers to explain what's a kilowatt hour, why am I paying this much, why did it go up? What our customer service team handles all of those calls for both the property and the management company, so they can actually get back to what they were hired to do, which is manage the property.
Right.
That's what we do.
So this is 100% outsourced service.
100%.
Like if there's a billing question, there's a phone
Comes to
number
us.
right there, and it goes to Larry. Larry
There's a
picks up
mistake,
and-
comes to us.
Yeah,
There's an
Larry's team
issue with not
picks
getting
up.
it, comes to us.
Yeah.
The manager doesn't understand it, comes to us. The ownership group wants to know why their electric going up, comes to us. We handle all of it. It's the way it used to be 20 years ago, and for some reason, everybody has gotten away from it. That's what we do.
Larry, appreciate
cool.
your time,
Thanks,
sir.
Larry.
Always a pleasure.
I'm not gonna hand here, right here. Take care, Larry. Cheers. So again, another OPEX solution. Another OPEX solution, right? Reducing OPEX, taking the load off the PM. So that's the third in a row now. Third OPEX solution that we've seen in a row.
Yeah.
Reducing OPEX.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, we take a look around.
If you see a
Like
a
I'd
good
love
that
to,
you wanna like particularly stop by, talk to someone,
yeah, sure.
um,
Let's go talk to Happy Co. I want to find out more about them.
yeah, let's chat with them.
One of our competitors. So this is a good way to do it without having to reveal.
Of course. Yeah, so good.
But
So
it's interesting, right? So I would have expected to see more, like out of the gates, more revenue, like revenue and leasing conversion vendors. But everyone's talking about OPEX, you know? Let's talk to Lesson. These guys right here. Lesson right here. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
We're doing LinkedIn Live with Adrian.
Oh boy.
Hey, Lori, you're on.
Okay.
I used to work for Lesson. I'm Adrian.
You did not.
Here we go do this.
A few years ago,
You did?
yeah, I was the director for the East Coast for maintenance.
You were?
What are we right here?
Oh
Yeah, we're
wow.
doing this. Here we go.
We're changing a lot. We're different now.
It's okay, no? Like it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
just
Well,
saying.
we have a new technology product.
Good.
Yeah, tell us about Lesson.
Yeah. So Lesson is a property services company. We have been around for about 20 years, providing maintenance services to single-family owners and operators. Spent the last probably 2 years working on a multifamily product.
Yep.
So taking kind of all the lessons learned around how to centralize the maintenance for single-family and bringing it to multifamily.
And so what is the big difference between single family and multifamily?
Well, I think by nature, single-family is scattered sites. So you don't have to centralize operations, right? Multifamily, you don't have to. But we're working with a handful of customers now to kind of figure out what the right solution is based on operator
Yeah.
centralization.
What's the biggest blocker here? People are like, when they acknowledge they've got a problem,
Yeah.
but they're kind of like, I'm not sure yet. What's the rationale? What do they say?
They have labor shortage.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to centralize and streamline make-readies. Like that's their go-to.
Right.
I believe that if they had a solution that helped them drive efficiency for their entire maintenance operations, maybe they wouldn't pick make-ready to
Right.
focus on because everything would be running more efficient. In our product that we just released, we have an auto scheduler that schedules all maintenance tasks for make-readies and service requests automatically.
Right.
It's a pretty robust scheduling and optimization solution. And then because we're a property services company, you can request additional labor or vendor in the app from our technicians and vendors.
Because you guys have, because what makes you guys different is you guys have a stable of experts and technicians.
Exactly, 35,000 vendors.
Right.
nationally.
And the third parties through Lesson.
Yes.
Got it.
We do have our own employees as well in
Yeah.
certain markets called Lesson Direct, but
Yeah.
you can hire one of them as well.
Gotcha. Cool.
Well, thank you very much for
You're
taking a
welcome.
few
Yeah,
minutes
thanks a
with
lot.
us.
Awesome.
Appreciate it,
Yeah.
Laura. Thanks a
Have a
lot.
great day.
Thank you.
All right,
I'd
let's
love to
keep
catch
going.
up more later.
Of course.
Okay.
Let me leave you my card.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
My email, cell phone number there.
Okay.
The chat.
Thanks, Lori.
Take care.
Take care. Cheers. All right. Statewide.
Hello, sir.
Hey,
How are you?
we're in a LinkedIn Live.
Hey guys,
You're live now.
you're
How
live.
you doing, Adrian?
Yeah,
live.
yeah, you're live.
Yeah,
We're live.
Hey, I'm Guillermo.
Hi.
Good to meet you.
Tell us a
Cheers.
few words about Gatewise. We just ran into Joseph. I want to hear from you. Oh,
Anna, come on, tell him something. Hi.
Hey, Anna.
Hello.
This is Anna from
Tell us
Gatewise.
a little bit about Gateways, services that
yeah.
you guys provide.
Of course, we do access control. We're an all-in-one platform. We also have a self-guided tour, and we have a camera that we just launched publicly here for everyone. So our gate camera is smart. It will open the gates when it sees emergency vehicles, and also UPS, Amazon, and all of those. So now that the holidays are coming up, it's the perfect time to start, installing these.
So this is just gate hardware,
What's that?
like exterior gate hardware.
No, we also do amenities.
Okay.
So yeah, the gym, the pool, all of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why Gateways?
Well, Gatewise is really the best alternative if you're looking for something to really centralize what you currently have. So if you have an amenity door, but you also have your gates, you want to have everything in one place. You don't want it to be thousands of dollars just to have this set up. So I think that first is the most affordable version that is in the market right now, and also it's the most it has all that you need to really get your gates and your amenity doors and your camera up and running. So I think that's our best that's the best way to say it. Any community can have Gatewise. You don't need to be an A plus. You can have this basically anywhere. So
what's the problem that a buyer is trying to solve when they choose Gatewise?
they choose Gatewise.
What are they trying to solve?
They're trying to make sure that their access control is easy for the managers on site, but it's also easy for the regional to kind of manage and see what's going on from their computer in a different location.
So before they buy Gatewise, what are they doing? Are they going out there doing it by hand?
So what they have is usually a call box.
Call
or
box.
codes.
Okay.
So or fobs and key cards. So that all becomes really expensive really quickly, and this eliminates that 100%.
Anna, thank you for taking
Thanks, Anna. Appreciate it.
telling us about Gateways.
All
See
right.
you later.
See you later.
All right. Let me know what you want to switch, man.
Sure.
And Hertz.
I'll change my
Adam.
laptop around. Hey, Adam Centrata. There we go.
Entrada is in the house.
There we go.
Say a few words. We're live.
Oh, we're talking.
We're live on
Okay, I thought we were taking
LinkedIn.
a picture.
Oh, no, yeah, we'll do that
What's up,
later.
everybody? If you're not here, you're missing out. Great show. A lot of great people, including these two.
Tell us a little bit about some
About
great
it.
things that are happening in
Yeah.
Oh, man. If you haven't heard, so one of the biggest releases, we recently purchased Colleen AI.
Yep.
We're doing all sorts of fun stuff in the AI space, from whether it's delinquent rent collection to leasing to renewal conversations. So people are looking to streamline their communications. That's a good thing to look into.
You find one of the things that Entrada has been one of the big PMSs, right? That from an innovation perspective, are you looking to integrate, or are you looking to acquire, or what's the product strategy for innovation?
Historically, we've built everything, in-house.
Yeah.
But as we see opportunities where we're not going to build and it strengthens our platform and it's built the way we, that will rest natively in our,
platform architecture. Yeah.
We will, we will absolutely look at any acquisition. It sounds like so.
What's interesting about Entrada as a solution, we're walking around, we're seeing a lot of people who are doing CRMs or revenue management sort of things, and Entrada and the kind of that peer group, right, are really the anchors for a lot of this, the financial side of things for the whole industry, right? And so everyone's either got to work with you or provide a new solution. I mean, every single customer we talk to is, hey, we're on Entrada, do you integrate with Entrada? That's the gateway conversation, and it's nice to see Entrada specifically open up the application a little bit further so that as innovators, we can integrate back in, because ultimately we create work orders automatically. Well, it's got to be an Entrada, otherwise it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's some of the cool stuff we're doing is, making it not just easier to create work orders, but translate them into multiple languages for people that natively speak a different language, right?
Yep.
We've always been known for being open. That's one of the ways that we sort of kind of came crashing into the scene is we publish our APIs online, right? People could go and get them anywhere. They didn't have to spend a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
So It's something we've promoted from the very beginning. Is that as players come in, if you want to use Entrada, we like that. But if you want to use something else that's best in class or best in breed, that you think you want to stick with, you can and just integrate and make it easy to work for everybody. That's obviously what we're known for. Is we build for the end user, right? We build for started with websites and payment portal, right? So we built it to be easy for the end user, and that has translated into everything else we've built since then. The site teams. Anytime you talk to somebody using it, they're like, it's so easy, right?
Very cool.
That's the key. So
Outstanding.
the integrations are tight, all that stuff.
All right.
Great seeing you, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam. All right. Take care.
You guys.
It was good to see those guys. Entrada's good. They're when we talk to other PMSs, they're certainly one of the easier ones to work with.
Yeah.
You know, some are harder than others.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I had great things about it.
Yeah.
A lot of folks that using them that actually love them.
Yeah. Some are harder than others. Right.
Let's stop at Grace Hill right here.
All right, Grace Hill.
We're live on LinkedIn. You want to say a few words?
Hi, how are you?
Hey,
Tom Harkness with Grace Hill.
How you doing?
Tell us a little bit about your latest acquisition and what are some great things that are happening at Grace Hill.
So our latest acquisition is RealLink. So RealLink is a video platform. So if you think about it, going into apartments like lease-ups, go in and video all of the apartments so they have a live view of the apartment.
Right.
And also in the continuity, when you're flipping apartments over, they can go in and do a video associated with the apartment. And then when somebody comes in, views it, you can then send them a link. That link comes in and directly to the person that's viewing or looking at that apartment. And your propensity to close on that lease goes up 4x.
So Grace Hill has been known as the leader in multifamily education, right? Are you trying as a strategy right now to become like a one-stop shop for various things like?
Yeah, we're actually already there. So a lot of people think about Grace Hill as learning because we started out in learning. So Grace Hill originally 30 years ago was an LMS platform.
Wow.
Yes.
With content associated with compliance, right? And so since Grace Hill has grown into policy management and grown into mystery shopping and grown into surveying not only of your tenants on the commercial side, but also your residents on the multifamily side, and into reputation management, now into the top of the funnel on the leasing motion with RealLink. So yeah, a lot of product sets out there.
It's quite amazing. What are some things for us to look forward to when it comes to Grace Hill in 2025 and beyond?
So in 2025, we have just recently launched our Performance HQ platform. So it's not a product, it's a platform where we're taking all of our products, give you one central area to be able to log in. So reducing your tech stack, reducing the number of websites you got to go to or the number of logins you have to have. And then also taking it, say you had 4 of Grace Hill's products or 6 of Grace Hill's products. We're starting to consolidate the data, and if you're on a mystery shopping side, how do we feed in if you've got a certain score on the mystery shop, how do you then go and feed that into training, saying where can I get better as a leasing agent?
Right.
And things like that. So on the surveying side, what's going on with your residents and how does that tie into actions that we need to do associated with training our employees better?
Lots of amazing things going on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
good to
taking
see you
a few
again.
minutes. Good to see you.
Cheers.
Good to meet you.
Likewise. All right. Let's get happy.
Happy, cool. Happy.
Let's get happy.
You know what? I'll hold.
You hold
the
a bit.
You hold the
Let's
mic
shake
for
you a little bit.
Let's see whom are we?
All right. We're live on LinkedIn. Who wants to chat for Happy Co? Michael.
You guys a little bit. I'm Adrian.
Why don't you hold that, Michael?
Guillermo.
Tell us about Happy Co.
What are we live on?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. All right. Yeah, cool.
There you go.
So HappyCo helps operators and fee managers streamline operations for their maintenance techs and on-site, to the point where you can actually see meaningful gains on your net operating income. So lowering operating expenses, and also happy technicians and happy residents.
How do you guys play that back to your buyers? So how do you regularly inform them that the value is being created?
Oh, well, we collect a lot of data, and our BI tools are all powered by leading industry platforms. So we can bring that data right back to them.
When someone buys Happy Co, what's the number one problem they're trying to solve?
It's there's not enough maintenance technicians out there to do a good job and make residents happy.
How's Happy Force doing?
Happy Force?
Yeah, how's that coming along?
It's great, yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, have you guys deployed that to a lot of your customer base?
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Right on.
So, yeah.
Right on. Any feedback on that?
Yeah. For the Happy
Yeah, how are
Force side?
customers liking Happy Force?
I mean, one of the biggest problems is after-hour calls. So,
Sure.
right, like, and Happy Force deflects a huge portion of those after-hour calls. So, happier technicians not getting woken up, and happier residents getting service.
I talked to one customer, and they're telling us that like when they do for after-hour support, a phone call they pay 1 hour. And if it's a trip, it's 2 hours. Like just think of the math on that.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
that's outstanding. So when people are looking to, why do they choose HappyCo over the other alternatives? Like, we just chatted with Lesson.
Yeah.
So why they
it's a very different product across the board. Yeah, I mean, Lesson, great service, especially I think in single family. But the challenge is multifamily. Different. We're built really specifically
for multifamily.
Yeah.
Very cool. Any questions?
How many units you guys have under management?
Over 4 million. Yeah. So I
That's
believe we're the largest ones for maintenance operations.
Yeah.
Wow.
What would you say your company ranks? Like, are you the top? Like the company that's the largest?
For maintenance and operations, yeah.
Who's your main competitor?
I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. Formerly, Site Plan, Sweet Spot. They all do great jobs.
Cool.
Well, Michael, we appreciate you taking the time.
Adrian, yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.
Meet everybody out there on LinkedIn.
Yeah, lots of fun. Take care.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What we got to do next?
You notice how we all ran off?
Yeah, you are hiding. No, you're there now.
Where do we...
4 million units under management.
Yeah.
That's
So
outstanding.
a couple of years ago, I knew the number was 2. They doubled the size.
Really?
Yeah, 2-3 years ago, I knew the number was 2 million.
2 million.
Actually, it was less than 2 years ago because I had their CEO, Guillermo. I had him on a podcast, and at the time I asked the question. He says
He's a super interesting guy to listen to, hey?
Yeah.
Like how he got into the industry and everything?
Lots of energy is right there.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, right there.
Hey, buddy, say hi to LinkedIn Live. We just had a chat. Sorry, we didn't mean to
intrude you guys, yeah.
I just want to say hi. We just had a chat with your guys at your booth. We're doing LinkedIn Live.
Okay, well, hey everyone.
Hey, Ginger. Yeah, good to meet you. Guillermo. Cheers. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We're just chatting about it. Good thing I was saying nice things. Nice things.
It's on camera too. You could replay it here.
Yeah. No, I really enjoy. Like, he doesn't do too many podcasts. I think he was maybe on one of yours or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he went on like different podcasts, not just mine.
Yeah.
I know he was on my Brewers for sure.
Yeah.
Before he was on mine, but I had him on mine.
Let's talk to these guys. This is revenue.
Fascinating story. Go ahead. You gonna ask the questions?
Yeah. Hey guys, we're LinkedIn Live right now.
On LinkedIn.
All right, so we're talking to vendors in the show just about their problems they solve and you know how's it going. And so who'd like to talk for rent? Brady.
Yes.
All right.
How's it going? So we are basically trying to make it as easy as possible for the right renter to find the right apartment.
Okay.
With multiple solutions. So anywhere from our ILS, which is rent.com, an apartment guide,
Yeah.
to social media, to Google pay-per-click, to really anything. So we've kind of made ourselves unique in the fact that we're able to meet the renter at the right spot where they're looking at.
So when the buyer is the owner, operator?
The renter.
The renter is
so
the
really
buyer.
we serve the renter. So if they're looking for a place, we help them find it.
And do they pay you like a fee to kind of sign in and all that kind
So
of
the
thing?
property management companies pay us to
PMC.
market their properties, and then every property is so unique. So what we kind of specialize is looking at the community as a whole and like putting them into a solution that makes sense for them.
Gotcha.
So it's not the same for every property. Everybody's unique. Some need geofencing, some need email campaigns,
Sure.
some need Google pay-per-click. So we try to identify what their needs are and then apply the appropriate solutions.
So operators obviously buying you or paying for buying for rent, are they like they obviously want their units to be sold before the other units that are on the platform as well? How does that conversation go?
I mean, there's enough to go around, really. I mean, there's in the supply of people in the marketplace looking for a place to live. It's changed a little bit now that occupancies are starting to go down a little bit.
Yep.
So there's a supply and demand issue that comes into play. And so we have that tough conversation with them, and we're
Gotcha.
letting them know, like, look, it's a pay to play market right now. You've got to invest if you want to fill those occupancies. And we feel like this is the best package of solutions for you and what your needs are, and try to guide them in the right direction. But we really see ourselves as advisors more than anything, like not selling you anything.
Right.
You need to fill those occupancies, and this is what I think will work. And it's a package of solutions, and this is your marketing budget. And that's kind of how we.
So things got to be. I mean, like what we've observed is that this compression of the market is creating opportunity for innovation that didn't exist previously, when it was just like, let's raise rents by 7% every single year, and occupancy is at 100%.
Yeah.
I'm taking Friday off. Now everyone's working all the time trying to solve the problem, right?
We've embraced it. I mean, we really leaned into AI pretty heavy. So all of our solutions have AI baked into them.
Right.
But there's a human in the background.
Of course.
That's obviously
AI assisted.
AI assisted. So every single one of them has some AI baked in, from like ILS. Now you can stage your room with AI. So if you're an apartment community that doesn't have great pictures of your units, we can literally stage them with AI photos, and it will do it for you automatically. You can choose between modern or rustic or farm or whatever, and it will automatically stage that room for you. And then even with like the social media, it will create AI posts for you that are auto-generated based off of what you're trying to accomplish. So
gotcha.
Maybe you're good on your 3-bedroom units, but you really need to focus on your 2-bedroom units. So the AI will automatically just give it a prompt. It'll create posts for you, highlight that 2-bedroom unit for you, and then post that across all your social media platforms. So
what's a great customer story that you kind of like to have or share?
For us, it's always about when we set a KPI, like here's our goals of what we want to achieve. And so generally when we put together the proposal, I'll ask you, like, what's your current occupancy, what's your desired occupancy, and how quickly you want to get there. And so the wins are always when we hit those achievements. When they say, like, we're at 90%, we need to get to 95% by December.
Yeah.
And we put together a package and we think will work, and they agree, and then it does it. That's the best. You can't go wrong with that. So.
Outstanding. Cool.
Ready? Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you.
There's our first revenue conversation. Is that our first revenue conversation today? I expected way more around that, just given the compression and the ability, like the amount of money that's spent on marketing to bring in more residents. I just expect more solutions to be leasing focused. You know?
Here's my take on this. Like, I'm seeing that most companies are spending like on social media content.
They're not
social.
No.
It's almost insignificant at the size of the comparing with the size of the industry.
Yeah.
So when you think about, I think the social selling is taking over, like Google paid ads and Facebook.
For sure.
And those are like shrinking as far as market share. Social selling is growing. I'm seeing it. And
Well, I mean, like being able to check out on an Instagram, on the Instagram platform should be something that's totally possible, right? You can check out on Instagram to buy a pair of Nikes. Why can't you check out to buy a apartment?
So what do you think is the opportunity here for both like management companies and also for service providers to take advantage of the fact that social selling sells better than anything else, and influencer marketing too? What are your thoughts?
I mean, to your point, we're going there. Like it's happening in real time. Like we've all decided, before you purchase something, you're inclined to get validated on one of those platforms. And so, and it's a visual experience. Like the one thing that I often I'm surprised people don't put their hands around is that viewing an apartment, it's the verb to see, right? It's about seeing it. And so why are we describing our apartments in words? We should be using visual to describe it, to show the situation, right? And that's where social media would be completely the best platform for that. And so we haven't seen anybody talking about that here today at all. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I think that's a good gap in the market for someone out there to go tackle and start mobilizing on it.
I'm actually curious if there's a single company here, a tech company, that offers a solution for content creation that's like at scale.
And that they're world best at it. That's
At
what they're
scale.
world best.
Yeah. Let's find out.
Let's go find out.
Let's keep going.
I promised my wife I'll never start another company again, but maybe we'll do that one.
I'm very intrigued about about the conversation.
What's up, baby?
Hey, buddy.
Hey guys,
Say a few words.
What's up?
We're on LinkedIn Live.
Hey, what's
James,
up?
how's it going?
OPTECH 2024, Adrian.
Yeah, let us know.
Tell us
Let us know
about
about what's good.
There's a lot going on here. A lot of Wi-Fi connectors, smart technology, e-property cares in the house, access control, smart tech.
So why does a buyer choose eProperty Care?
We're easy to work with. We understand how to install. We understand how to service our clients. We have some of the best products in the market. Integration from your, what we call curb to couch,
Right.
access control all the way to the end unit in one application. Integrations with your property management system make it easy for your residents and for your on-site staff.
Very cool.
Hope to see you around, buddy. Thank you.
Likewise.
Take care. Catch up later.
Sounds good, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Thanks.
Cheers. More OpEx. You think about it, given the market, like the compression that's happened on occupancies and vacancies, access control, all these OpEx related like businesses, we're one too, right? Did it come from the fact that there was really no one was trying to solve a revenue problem for like 2-3 years? And so the only thing to sell is really an OpEx problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of on the back end of that with respect to developments and boosts, et cetera. But now we're in the front end of a leasing problem, but those companies aren't here yet. With the
Very
front end of
interesting point. Tyrus is in the house. Nathan.
Nathan, how you doing? And Guillermo, thank you. Cheers.
So we're live on LinkedIn.
Oh wow.
Wanted to step by and say hi to you. Tell us a little bit about what's good at Kairos.
Yeah, Kairos is excelling in water leak detection.
Yeah.
For multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a lot of cool products here. This is our construction product for new builds. Shuts off your main power lines. And then we've got our sensor material here.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that.
Very cool.
That can be customized to fit anything underneath appliance, dishwasher, around a water heater, so on and so forth.
Like I know when people were deploying leak detection, like let's say 2 years ago when it first kicked off, there's a ton of false alarms, a lot of activity that was generated from those. How's that working now?
Yeah. So these are very, very sensitive. So like you can see right now, it's picking up the moisture on my hand.
Yeah.
Right. So the concept though is any small leak is probably going to lead to a huge leak.
Huge leak.
So the maintenance team goes out there and makes sure that it's not going to turn into
A bigger
kind of
problem.
like a fire alarm, right? It's
Sure.
It goes off with a little bit of smoke.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
We don't have a ton of complaints on
False alarms.
Yeah.
I think it's getting better. I was curious about it because like it was a technology innovation or just people just adapted to it, or maybe just leaks that were leaking are now gone.
Yeah. So our next version is going to detect the severity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, NOAA 2 is coming out, so we'll be able to control some of that.
Very cool. Outstanding.
Tell us a little bit about controlling water disasters, like mitigating and controlling. How does your product controls or like prevents huge,
yeah.
Not just the small leaks that could turn into fast, but we're talking about like 4, 6, 8-inch lines.
Yep.
What type of product have you
You've
developed
got
for
a
that?
couple different options with that. So for the smaller half-inch lines, you can connect this device to an automated flow valve that shuts off based on a certain flow rate, right? And then we've got this type of contraction, which works all the way up to your 8, 12-inch lines. So we use this during the construction. This goes on the main fire line or the domestic supply line. And this is all smart technology. So you control, this is an ultrasonic water meter, right? So it's reading your flow rate for your main. And then based on the parameters you set, if it passes those parameters, it will automate this valve through your smartphone or automatically and shut off your main valves that way.
So basically, I could
So
be
you shut down
so basically I could be in Saudi Arabia, have the app on my phone, and at
And
my
just
property,
hit it.
I'm seeing that there's a possible flood. I could just prevent that flood from anywhere in the world.
Yes, or we would program in the setup. Let's say on a construction site, after midnight, there should be no flow. So if something bursts, it would automatically shut off.
Okay.
Or you could set this to control how much flow. And so if you surpass a certain amount of gallons, it would automatically. So you can cover it from.
So there's some
automatic
intelligence to it.
mid.
Some riverbanks.
Yeah.
that you can set.
Yeah.
Very
It
cool.
stays within these parameters. We're safe.
Yeah.
It goes outside, it shuts down.
Very cool.
So that's cool.
Awesome.
Nathan,
Very good.
appreciate your time,
Thanks for
sir. It was
stopping by,
great seeing
man.
you.
Appreciate it. All right. You want me to hold too?
Adrian, my friend.
Renee's in the house.
Yes, sir.
You're on LinkedIn Live, sir.
Hey, Adrian, how you doing?
Say a
Here,
few
hold.
things. Say a few things for LinkedIn.
Of course, LinkedIn is amazing, and of course, the way Adrian is running this podcast, man. If you're in multifamily, this is the place.
What's good at ADT Multifamily?
We're the best because we have been in business for well over 150 years, and with 200 offices, 5,000 technicians. When it comes to multifamily, if you want to increase the NOI, ADT.
Because everyone thinks security when they see ADT.
No, that's
what should people know about ADT? That's different.
Even though that we are known and be there for 150 years, last 20 years or so, we are huge in the multifamily business.
So what's the problem that you saw for multifamily?
We increases the NOI.
How do you do that?
Through technology and through electronic locks, thermostats, leak sensors, you name it, we do it.
You got it all. All the smart operations within the company.
Everything that is smart home.
Gotcha.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for that.
Thank you. Thank you for
Cheers.
stopping by.
Take
Good
care.
meeting
Bye-bye.
you. Are you okay with that? Man, if I could do
Yeah,
you,
drop by
are you?
too.
Yeah,
Great.
they're my friends.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not gonna be that long, but at least for the next like 30, 40 minutes, we're dying here. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Nathan. Thanks, Kairos.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Walk standing up now. So that was interesting. So like there is a risk. That's a risk value proposition.
It's a
in
good
Kairos, right?
Yeah, and also like insurance companies are getting they're getting very interesting in this type of product.
Of course.
Because imagine like they're not in a business to write checks. And then if there's a technology that actually could prevent most of that damage,
yeah,
like that increases the insurance company profits. And
I mean, you think the insurance companies should be paying for that. They should be, that should
that would be a good, that would be a good way. The other way would be like to incentivize.
Cox?
I'll say to, yeah, of
Your
course.
smile, so we're LinkedIn Live.
Of course.
Everyone,
We're live
can
on
see you
LinkedIn.
guys. Good seeing you again.
It's good to see you.
Kelly, hi, I'm Guillermo. This is Adrian.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Good to meet you.
I'm Adrian. Nice to meet you.
Adrian Kelly with Cox. How are
Cox, thanks
Hey,
for
doing
sponsoring the
great.
Wi-Fi today. We're using it right now.
Wonderful. Is it working?
We're live.
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
working great.
Good.
Yes,
Wonderful.
you're live.
Okay, hi. Hi, everyone. We're here at OPTECH 2024.
So tell us about Cox.
Cox is more than an internet provider. We're more than your grandfather's cable company, and we have ventured into smart tech and managed Wi-Fi. So for apartment communities, we can be a true end-to-end solution provider in the markets that we serve.
And so from when a owner or operator is looking to buy and they choose Cox, why are they choosing Cox? Why do they pick you guys versus the other alternatives that are out
Because
there?
they want one hand to shake.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And so all the things that you guys solve, what's the problem specifically that you guys target?
So right now in the multifamily space, we are solving for connectivity issues that might not be available without a managed Wi-Fi solution. We also we work with ambient, and we have a full suite of smart home technology that we can install in each unit. So actually, if you guys want to come over here, I can show you what we have over here is, so we have the initial feature as you walk into a smart apartment is you have the door lock. So I'm going to enter the code and the door unlocks. And then you'll see in our apartment space, this one, we actually have a leak sensor that is located right underneath the sink. So in a brand new apartment community, leak detection is going to save you guys a lot of money in the long term from an operational perspective. So we also have smart thermostats, and I'm not saying it in the closet right now, but so smart thermostats and smart locks are the traditional features that we're seeing a lot of apartment communities gravitate towards, depending on what type of a builder they are.
And naturally, I think that it seems obvious to say out loud, but to deploy smart technology, you have to have reliable infrastructure, like telephony infrastructure.
The internet has to work.
Otherwise, you're fixing the internet problems and not leak detection
Correct.
problem.
And that's some of the challenges that we see in this space when you have multiple different providers from internet service, managed Wi-Fi, and then IoT. So now if there's a problem, a lot of people are pointing fingers. We eliminate that issue. We have an all in one.
It really is. It's infrastructure.
Yes.
I mean, and having it like, not everyone buy their own water or buy their own electric power.
Right.
So how can you expect to run a building on each individual's choices for power?
Absolutely.
It's just not practical.
Correct. Yes.
And we kind of I find like we were seeing the session yesterday, and I guess SKBM was out there talking about just like managed internet, bulk internet, all those things. But I feel like they failed to talk about the fact that if you don't have a reliable internet, none of this stuff is you're on the outside. You're not allowed into the party.
Well, you can't operate your business. I think if you don't have reliable internet, not only will you not be able to, you won't be able to lease those buildings, let alone get people attracted to live in those buildings. So what we're seeing is, there's a demand for connectivity, right? People need connectivity to whatever it is they're doing within the house, to even just use their phones. I mean, we offer telephone service, but our penetrations on telephone services are so low.
Right.
And that is almost, an age-old thing where we've actually now gravitated into the, we have a mobility arm. So we sell mobile.
Yeah.
So in a lot of the markets where you buy Cox Internet, you can now pair that with a mobile line connection.
Gotcha.
And it's even more savings because you're able to get it all off of one network.
It's really interesting to kind of look at that conversation you mentioned about managed internet and managed wireless. Like, ultimately, I think that like operators are losing residents by not having Wi-Fi. I was talking to the e-property care guys yesterday. Like, would you go to a hotel that didn't have Wi-Fi? Like, that'd be a deal breaker. No chance. There's no chance.
Right.
Like, I would be furious if I went to an Airbnb and there's like, oh, there's no Wi-Fi here.
Right.
I'd be like, what?
Yeah, unless
That's
it's
like there's no
intentional.
water, unless
Yeah,
it's intentional.
unless it's intentional
Sure.
to disconnect.
Right.
Right. Because those places do exist.
Even
But
those places we still want to get Wi-Fi. I mean,
yeah.
the data that we've heard is that, in order of operations, right? People will pay. So there's two kind of data points. People will pay their cell bill first, then they pay, like in times of austerity, right? They'll pay the cell bill first, then they'll pay their internet, then they pay their cable, then they pay their power, then they pay their water, then they pay their gas. And that's the order. And I don't know, rent falls in the middle there somewhere. Rent can be delayed, but they will pay their internet first out of all things. And the other supporting data is that when internet goes down, people complain within 5 minutes. When water goes down, they might wait 2 days. When power goes down, they might wait like half an hour. But like the urgency, the need to be connected,
absolutely,
is so like core to our operating existence that when it goes down, people lose their mind.
Yes. Have you seen a teenager without a phone?
Exactly. Yeah. And if you're a parent, you know that. Like, what's the Wi-Fi password? Like, or if you have like kids come over, the first thing they want to know is what's the Wi-Fi password.
Absolutely.
We have a QR code in their house. They just like snap it and they can log in. So then we're not even sharing passwords.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yep. And that's the simplicity of it, right? And I think that's where we're at. Like, there's a lot of competition in the market, right? It's about streamlining systems, streamlining solutions, simplifying processes, and making it easier for everybody to use, right?
What's the regulatory environment for managed Wi-Fi? Like, if you think of it in terms of like an essential, like water, power, gas, etc., is there a regulatory environment for managed Wi-Fi, or is it still Wild West?
It is still the Wild West. They are. I mean, there's a huge push. I know the FCC there's been a lot of conversations about eliminating bulk internet products.
Oh, really?
Yes. That was earlier in the year. There was a big push to that. As the years progressed, we've seen the dialogue change a little bit to more of they wanted transparency in pricing and different things like that. I'm not sure where it's landed or where we're at. It's been somewhat quiet, and obviously it's October.
Yeah.
There's a pretty big month coming up.
Yeah, there's other priorities.
So I think that the environment is changing. It's going to continue to change, and we just really have to wait and see what happens really after the elections is what I anticipate. After come January, I think we're going to start to see some more
Well, I mean, I think that typically you get regulatory gets in the way when the customer is not benefiting.
That's correct.
So right now, this ultra competitive environment is benefiting the customers. Prices
Absolutely.
are coming down. So I hope that regulators don't get involved and the kind of like the economic hand, the invisible hand does its job.
I agree. And the thing is it's great until it doesn't work.
Right.
Okay. So that's some of the biggest challenges that you hear in this space. It's not that I was getting a great price for my internet and it worked all the time, right? That's not the conversation. The conversation is I'm either, I might be getting a great price, but it never works. Like I don't care.
And I feel like I only have one choice.
Correct. Yeah. Right. And, and we're seeing a lot of, people want choice, right? And I think some of those conversations are even they're driven by a financial decision or they're driven by a lack of service decision.
So given Cox's history, like with respect to infrastructure, right? Like 100 years or 200 years or however long you've been
125 years.
125 years, thank you. It wasn't 200 years, but it was more than 100. Like, do you have other retailers that carry on the Cox network? Or it's just Cox customers on Cox Wire?
So it's just Cox customers on Cox Wire. We that's our residential part of the business, right? So that's how we've operated. That's how we've sustained. We own and manage.
So when you think about
all of our network.
Differentiation of Cox is that it is only Cox, because like other retailers can sell managed Wi-Fi.
Yes.
It's going to go on another carrier's wire.
Correct.
And then there's prioritization that happens.
Correct.
And so while you've paid for less, you're actually getting deprioritized at surge periods. So then you've crappy Wi-Fi, which is what everyone says, right?
Right, possibly. And that's why when at the beginning you asked the benefits, it's a true end-to-end solution. We're bringing, it's our circuit in the street, it's our fiber in the street, it's our fiber to the D-Mart, it's our everything is, on the Cox network. So, who's going to show up to serve the customer? Who's going to show up if there's an outage? Cox's. We're going to come by in our trucks. You're going to have, we do customer service. All of our account managers. Anytime you're a partner of Cox Communications, we deploy a full account management team that helps that end-to-end solution. So not only is it all Cox from the street into the suite, but now you have people who are showing up who are Cox employees and who work for the family.
Makes sense to me.
Kelly, we appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Adrian.
You're a sport.
Guillermo.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Have fun.
All right, we'll take care.
See you.
Want to make it fun.
See, now I never really thought about that for Cox in terms of like one wire, one customer, the one-stop shop. When they say one-stop, you kind of know. It's up to me to decide what one-stop feels like.
Yeah.
What it is, right?
When you think about it, this is kind of the advantage that they have. And I will say in a way it's an unfair advantage. Right? There is infrastructure, there's cable running through the apartments. The fact that they actually have an in already with the residents and with the property management company, they could actually virtually add any type of services they want.
Yeah, it's like Microsoft.
Exactly.
Right.
They're not necessarily related from the same family, but they already have that customer. So it's kind of like it's just asking for repeated business.
The vendor's already been approved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's you're already in, you just expand, you just sell more stuff. Or I guess like Amazon, which you say too.
Yeah.
Right? Amazon is kind of like a different animal. There's nothing really to compare with.
It's funny, this hallway here, I noticed there's a lot of receivables management, cash management on both of these two hallways over here. Here we're talking more internet, more resident recovery, cash recovery, leasing. Maybe this is the leasing side. This is an interesting business here, deposits. Hey guys,
let's see those guys out here, what they're up to.
Hey, I'm Guillermo. How you doing? Yeah, we met before at the Blueprint.
Yes.
At Blueprint. You're telling me all about. Yes, you actually got me super fascinated about deposit management.
Yes.
I was like, this is free. This is the best business ever.
Right.
You guys want to do an interview? We're live on LinkedIn.
Sure. We'll do an interview.
All right.
I have no idea what we're talking about, but we're going to do it.
Here's the MC Deluxe.
We talk about whatever you want to talk about, Peter. Tell us about work.
Okay. Well, first of all, we're coming to you live from OPTECH, right?
right.
This is PropTech Central. If you're not here, you're definitely missing it. So watch these videos, watch these recordings, whatever they're doing, you gotta check it out. So I work for Court, right? And we're in the business of helping people in transition. So think about people anytime they're moving across the world, from one city to another, one state to another, one country to another, they have needs. They have furniture needs. 100% of people moving are going to do something with furniture, right? So we provide furniture rental. That's what we do. We make in a very simplified, tech-driven solutions. Your people on site don't have to do anything. All you got to do is come see us. Very cool.
Tell us about the tech-driven solution. Like, describe the tech to me.
Okay.
I wasn't aware that you guys use technology.
Yeah, sure.
I think
Old days,
furniture rental become a PropTech.
Well, right. In old days, people used to walk into a leasing office, right? They would walk in and they see a brochure and they go, "Oh God, I need furniture," right? Now today, you go on a property website. There's going to be a little button there, a little floating button that says, "Need furniture," and then you click that button, and next thing you know, they come right to our experience. Yeah, a tailored experience there, or it could be on the chatbot. You ask that chatbot, "Hey, do you have anything to do with any furniture options?" And today the chatbot says, "Oh, you have to call the leasing agent. You have to call the property." In our world, we'd say, "No, just click here," right? So that's two samples. Lots of others, but super simplified. Nothing super high tech. Doesn't need to be. It's just providing information to the customers where they are, when they want it, and how they want it.
Got it. Make it easy.
Yeah, make it easy.
Very cool. And then I love your business.
Yeah,
I love it. I love
He
his
Pete's
business.
the king of MC, right?
It is good.
So,
It's good. I mean, I like this business, but I love your business.
So
Lots of moving parts.
Wade McGowan here with Deposit Cloud, also known as Resident Radius. We basically handle the entire deposit process front to back. So person moves in, they no longer have to pay the upfront deposit fee. They're scheduling that through us. So it takes all that burden and financial responsibility off of the owner-operator themselves. So we manage that process front to back, right? Make it easy for the resident, give them optionality so they can pay their deposit over a couple months instead of having to pay it up front. When you move in, you have a ton of things that you're paying for: first month's rent, deposit. You're still almost guaranteed you haven't got the deposit from your old place back. You're still battling that old property management company, right? So we handle that process front to back. Also, the unclaimed funds on the back end.
Yeah.
We're chasing all those checks down, and we're doing it all, taking it off your accounting team's hands.
I mean, and if you've ever had to manage deposits before, I had 9 nine. Yeah. That's it. It is a nightmare. It is a holy shit moment. You're like,
Yes.
"Oh no, I got to figure this out," and it's just like the last thing you want to deal with.
It is.
At all.
And deposit legislation across the country is changing drastically in a very expeditious way. So it's tough to keep on top of all those different areas, jurisdictions, state, county, MSA level. So it's tough. So we handle all that.
Yeah.
It's right here at OPTECH.
It's other people's money.
Other people.
It's other people's money, and the problem is a lot of operators treat it as their own.
Right.
But it's legally not their money.
Exactly.
Right.
And yet they're having to keep track of it, pay interest in some places, keep track of that interest, and then get that information to the resident, sometimes on a monthly basis, but now down to a daily basis. Reconciliation. It's a mess.
Our job here is to reduce friction.
Yeah.
Right. His product reduces friction. If you think about our life today, it's Amazon easy. I want to click a button and I want the product delivered to my home like this afternoon.
Right.
So products like his just reduce that friction. We gotta make it easy to rent my new home, not an apartment, not a unit, my home.
Yeah.
Right. And if I create all these barriers, it takes forever to get the damn lease signed and move in and all that, and my security deposit. At some point,
It's too much work.
It's too much work. Yeah, it's too hard. So he makes it easy.
Yeah.
One of the things that makes it easy, you got to be at OPTECH. This is the kind of stuff that's going on here.
Good conversations. That's for sure. All right, guys. We'll keep moving around.
All right.
Gentlemen,
Appreciate you.
Adrian,
Guillermo. Good seeing you again. Cheers.
You can edit me out.
Are you kidding?
It's live. It's live. It's live.
All right. Let's see who else we have here. Do you have a hard stop or something?
I'm just checking.
Oh.
No, I'm good. I'm good for an hour. I'm good for an hour. Lots of time.
Good. Hopefully, you have enough battery left.
Yeah.
To go for another hour.
There's plenty of free battery swag around here. I'm sure you can find a charger.
I got one. It's my I got a really big one.
You know what? I do want to go take all these vendors and sort them and categorize them and see what they solve. You know, like what's their business? Obviously, we've seen a lot of managed Wi-Fi, a lot of, now we're getting into kind of some CRM, some operations management, but ultimately, this is a representation of the problems that operators are looking to solve with technology.
One thing that I think I'm noticing is that there are certain categories that keep repeating. Categories of services, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, access control, I think it's kind of dominating. It's one of the dominating.
Ladies, how's it going? Good seeing you again.
Services that they're seeing out here. I probably recall, I don't know, at least 10.
Because there's no people anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
So, but, look who's here.
Hey guys, we're live.
Edward, we're live on LinkedIn.
We're live right now?
Yes, we're live.
Right now.
Does everybody know who Airwave is? We're managed Wi-Fi.
That's what we're talking about. That is.
Does everyone know Todd Cattler?
Hello. No, hey, Todd.
CEO?
All right, let's hear about it. Tell us about Airwave.
All right.
You're
But then we got to get Todd.
And then we'll
right?
talk about parking.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
we get both of you.
38,000 units on the platform.
You can call this.
There you go.
38,000 units on the platform. Managed Wi-Fi for owners by owners. Equity Residential, Avalon Bay, Essex Property Trust. These are all customers of Airwave. We're transforming the digital infrastructure and future-proofing every unit, providing contiguous connectivity for the unit to the common area, to the parking deck, to the community pool and leasing office.
Why Airwave?
Airwave was built from an ownership perspective, right? So our CEO came from Mill Creek, our COO came from Equity, and I came from Cortland and Pinnacle. There's no other digital infrastructure provider that knows multifamily better than us. Don't take our word for it, ask our customers.
There you go.
I love that point, Ed, because what I've learned is that the best tech that I put my hands on was the tech that was developed by operators for operators. It's developed by operators that understand, like the people that understand operation. And there's no better person that understands operation than a operator. So
100%.
That's a great point. What are some great things coming up in like the end of 2024, 2025 for Airwave?
Yeah, so our owner portal provides real-time access to see uptime, speed, online units. That's proprietary called AirPulse. And then we've just announced a $50 million infrastructure capital program to finance units for those property owners that don't want to come out of pocket to fund the infrastructure.
So now you have all the vehicles like a car dealership. If someone wants to buy a car and they can't afford to do the upfront payment, like you also provide financing.
This is akin to BMW Financial Services. You want your 740i, you can lease it through Airwave.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Last question. Where do I sign?
Where do you what?
Where do I sign?
Sign right here.
There we go.
You got it.
So I have a question. So, your differentiator is that you guys know multifamily better than anybody else.
Right. And we have domestic customer service and support frontline.
Got it.
Right. That
So for
provides.
everyone listening here that might not know the nuances of multifamily, why is that strategic? What is different about multifamily?
Well, so, right, multifamily has nuances. At the end of the day, the resident looks at this as an amenity. And if they don't get the speed that they require, they'll vote with their feet.
Right.
And go with a community that can provide 1 gig up and down. Right. And because it's managed Wi-Fi and the infrastructure that we put in is the gold standard, the resident is afforded convenient, affordable Wi-Fi at a cost lower than the competitor.
Right. So if you're an owner, what's the life cycle of the infrastructure? Like how often are you replacing it?
The tech refresh happens at year 7.
Okay. So 7 years you have the same equipment.
The same APs, right? And then that tech refresh is automatically included.
So it's a subscription model?
It's a subscription model.
Got it.
All right, we now need to turn over to Todd Cattler, CEO of Zark.
Yeah, let's talk about parking.
He knows a little bit about multifamily.
I'll
Just
go
a
here.
little bit.
Okay, you got that?
Well, like Airwave, Zark was started by a apartment developer to solve parking issues at his own communities, where apartment communities, because of municipality restrictions, had too little parking spaces allotted, and it created a lot of resident frustration. People get towed and bad reviews. So Zark was started to solve that problem. We're on 95,000 units across the country now, and probably about half the states. It's a free service. Residents pay if they want to. If they don't want a reserved parking spot, they don't have to have one. So you're doing something for your residents, not to your residents.
So it's like Airbnb for parking?
It's not peer-to-peer. It's
Okay.
actually taking the underutilized spots within a community and making them accessible by the day to residents and their guests.
I see. Okay.
And then today yesterday, we're now debuting our new rentable item strategy, which has been completely mismanaged by our entire industry, where you've built this asset. It has, whether it's a clubhouse or parking spaces or storage units or whatever it may be, except for when you start your lease, no one ever tells you, hey, these are things that would make your life better that you can rent by the hour, by the day, by the month, coterminous with your lease. No one ever does that anymore. So we're now making that part of the Zark platform so you can secure these items that you want when you want them from your phone and on the terms that you want them.
So as a resident, would you go use the amenity at a different building?
No, it's for within your own building, but you would be surprised that someone's like, oh, I wish I had a storage unit because now I have another roommate and I can't fit anything. And now you're being tickled with, hey, would you like a storage unit? Here's what the cost is. How long would you like it for? Or you're having some friends over. Would you like a clubhouse? You can rent it for 4 hours on this day and you can secure it. It's not rocket science. It's just never been done.
Interesting.
Or done well.
So you say booking.
Yeah, it's just for all the stuff that you spent all that money building or buying but have never utilized.
So I guess that EVs has got to be something that people are trying to solve.
EV is an interesting one. We're talking with a lot of the EV providers now about how we help them.
Yeah.
Because it's, there's one thing, the 5, 8, 10, 12 grand you spent putting that charger in.
Yeah.
It's the knucklehead that won't get out.
Yeah.
So our platform has a whole towing.
Well, the F-150 parked right there.
Right. So we have a whole towing platform built in too.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll dispatch tow 24/7. It comes into like how hawkish do you want to be?
Yeah.
Because it's still your resident.
Yeah.
So that's a fine line, and we let every property choose. How.
I'm sure there's a few level of excuse me's before you tow the truck.
Well, that's up to the customer.
Yeah.
Some people say they don't want any of that.
Yeah. Interesting. Wow. I'll hold this. Very cool. So why of the alternatives that are out there, why does an operator or an owner choose Zark?
Well, one is we were started by operators. So it wasn't started to have this great vendor company. It was actually started just to solve the problems at his own communities.
Right.
So it's a very resident focused app. Second, all the other competitors I see in the space are pretty expensive.
Right.
And they're saying, oh, I'm going to cherry pick a property that I know will make a bunch of money so that we can charge a lot. And I've looked at it as this needs to be the way a property management company or an owner operator runs.
Right.
So therefore, we're going to make it really economical, really easy, really risk-free, so that a company can put its platform up. Some of the properties will knock it out of the park. Some may not, but it won't cost them anything.
Right.
So we want to make it really easy to improve the resident experience without incurring a bunch of risk or cost.
Gotcha. Very cool. So kind of like no regrets.
Right.
Very cool. Excellent.
And no CapEx.
And no CapEx.
Yeah.
Most importantly. Excellent.
Well, thank you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
that. I'll grab that. Thanks, Mark. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Very good meeting you.
Keep rolling.
Just the life?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't connected with Todd, you need to, right?
Yes.
Because of what he's doing on Multifamily Podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Multifamily X. Like, seriously, Adrian has been around for 30 years. And because Todd's an iconic industry type, right, real page, he built Level 1, the formidable contact center in Greenville, to anyone home, to selling anyone home, to Inhabit IQ. I mean, I'm just saying, like, he knows a little bit about prop tech and multifamily. And it's transformative.
So guys.
Yeah, but let's connect. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
All right. Take care. Cheers. Have a good day.
Let's do a quick tour that way.
Yeah. Sure.
We have another maintenance management app here,
Upwork. Okay.
Yeah,
So check out them.
I think that
Is that where
yeah, I think that
Bert Bert. What's his name? Bert. I'll remember it.
Well, hello,
Hey
Appwork.
guys, yeah.
How are you?
Hey, Appwork
We're
guys.
finally here. Are you good to go? We're live on
You catch your mouth full?
Yeah. We're not filming you, okay? Not yet.
Not yet.
You have a few minutes?
You guys have some of the most elaborate swag we've seen so far. There you go. Hi, Danny. How you doing? Here, I'll hold this. I'll hold this. Oh, yes.
How's it going?
There we
Tell
go.
us about what's good at Appwork. What is the greatest and the latest at Appwork?
The greatest and the latest. So we are doing a ton of stuff with technician management. So collecting data and gamifying the technician experience. I mean, I think the headline news of Appwork is always and will always be that we are technician driven and we built our product for the end user. Because if you don't have adoption from your technicians on a maintenance platform, you don't have a maintenance platform.
Right.
So I think that's where our focus is and always will continue to be. And we're seeing great traction from that and a lot of really awesome responses from the technicians themselves.
I've learned that the best tech that I put my hands on was tech that was built by operators for operators. I know that Appwork is one of those companies. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So Appwork was actually developed in-house by an operator. And kind of going back to the technician piece and building out for technicians, we literally, they basically built our product, right? We were built in-house and we weren't built from a revenue generating standpoint, we were built to solve our own problems. So we needed the feedback from every role to build the technology. And that started at the core at the technician level and then worked its way up through the C-suite and through the managers and regionals.
There's a huge lift to just like build a piece of tech because there's nothing out there that really meets your needs. Can you speak on that? I mean, most of the like all-in-one platforms, they do have like maintenance features that
Work order
management. Yeah, they could do. What were like the highest pain points that the company had when they decided like we could do this better than anybody else currently does it?
Yeah, so back when Appwork was kind of being conceptualized, it wasn't really conceptualized as a company, right? It was conceptualized in a way that we have these specific problems and we're going to go tackle them. And it just happened to turn out that 90% of what was built was maintenance related. It is the heart of property operations. It is everything that makes the world go round. If you don't have good maintenance, you don't have good occupancy. If you don't have good maintenance, you're losing tons and tons of money, so your NOI is bad. So everything was interconnected to maintenance, and as we were building to solve our pain points, we realized that. And so we continued to keep adding on solution by solution to solve our pain points, and it just so happened when we went to look at it at the end of what we had built, we're not done building by any means, but when we sort of got to a point where we're like, oh wow, we have like a pretty robust system, 90% of it was maintenance.
Very cool. What makes an operator prioritize choosing Appwork or an alternative like Appwork this quarter? Like, what are they going through this quarter that they're going? I got to solve this today. What's happening to them?
This quarter, I'd say, well, it's budget season.
Yeah, not so much Q4, but like in the next 90 days, what's happening to my life that I want to go? I'm evaluating this.
Hurricane cleanup for one. People suffering from the hurricanes in Florida and in North Carolina. A lot of cleanup, a lot of work orders coming from that. And I'd say in general, anyone who's looking from a centralization standpoint, anyone who's evaluating centralization and just efficiencies overall within their.
So how do you find prospects that are evaluating centralization?
Isn't everyone?
Well, yeah. Maintenance specifically.
That's a great question. I'd say a lot for us is getting our name out there.
Gotcha.
It's having conversations, coming to conferences like OPTECH and talking with people and trying to understand. we work both in a centralized, like our platform's developed to be able to operate in a centralized model and in an individual model. So we're set up for both ways, and it resonates a lot with people that are looking to centralize. And I think one of the interesting things about maintenance is sometimes you centralize one area and you don't on others, right? So maybe a portfolio has scattered sites and they're centralizing those areas, or they have a portfolio is nationwide and they've got a hot spot in one area and they want to centralize that area, but they've got a lot of other properties scattered around that are not ripe for centralization. So I think that's been an interesting thing. But I generally it's chatting with people and understanding what are you trying to do? What are you trying to solve for?
How fast can someone be up and live and operating?
4 days.
4 days?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think that's our fastest launch to date.
Yeah.
Then in 2025, the product roadmap, what are some things that we should expect from Upwork in 2025?
Great question. So we've got a lot coming. We're working on some upcoming partnerships that we're not yet ready to announce. And then we've got a lot coming down the path from an asset tracking perspective. We're going to do more with our AI technology, developing. Our AI is pretty unique in the sense that we're not focused on conversational AI, which is a big part of what's being focused on in the space. We're focused on AI in ways that create more operational efficiencies. And so we're building out a few things from that standpoint to make the technicians and the managers' lives easier. So that's what I would say is top of mind. We're going to do some more things with our Ingrained partnership as well.
Cool.
Exciting stuff.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
for being with us today.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Take care.
See you around.
Cheers.
It's your
any of your sponsors that you want to check in on? Any more of the multifamily media sponsors? I know Upwork's one of your sponsors, right?
One of our shows. So it's them and Kairos.
Kairos. Oh, perfect. We talked to Kairos already.
If you have someone like in particular here that stuff on the chat.
I think this is. No, I'm kind of tapping out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we could just kind of
Here's your
like
marketing conversations. These are the guys. See, there we go. From idea to competition, there's already someone doing it for us. Let's talk to them.
Yeah,
let's ask them. All right.
All right. Berg,
how you doing?
How's it going?
Good. How about
How you guys doing? You're live.
We're live on LinkedIn, so we're broadcasting live.
Okay.
Do you want to spend a few minutes, ask a few questions for us?
Sure. We can do that.
So we were just chatting a bunch on the way over here, and one of our observations is that we hadn't until we think here seen anybody who's talking about leasing with social media and marketing, and where are all the marketing people at this conference? And so we literally were about to sign off. We're like, well, let's go check in with these guys. So tell us about Perk.
Yeah.
What's the problem you solve, and why do they buy?
Yeah, absolutely. So
We're right there.
yeah, we're a digital marketing platform. Right?
Okay.
So we do have different solutions to be able to attract people to the website, have different tools on the website to be able to engage them and to convert them into tours and to leases. Right. So that's the problem, getting quality traffic to your website.
Right.
And then once they get to the website, how do we convert them easily for the on-site teams to be able to have that opportunity to turn them into leases?
Gotcha.
Yep.
So why do buyers or operators, why do they choose Perk versus all the other things that are out there?
Yeah, I think just the technology works. It's very easy. There's not a lot of training that needs to happen. It's on your website. It does its job. Passes the leads over to the on-site team so they can focus on what they're good at, which is closing leases and trying to get people in apartments.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Social selling becomes bigger and bigger, right? So social media content becomes more and more prevalent in a marketing role. What are some things? Do you guys have any type of like services that you're offering as far as like social media creation, social media management, account management?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have anything with social media. We do different things with digital marketing, like pay-per-click, trying to get targeted audiences to the website. But currently, we don't do anything with social media.
Very cool.
That's great feedback.
Curious. Yeah, interesting to hear where the industry's at, right?
Yeah.
no one's looking to solve that problem yet.
Yeah, it's tough. The clients that I work with, they kind of put it onto their on-site teams. They have some marketing departments that kind of delve into that, but a lot of times they put it onto the property managers to kind of do their own thing.
What I've noticed with the on-site teams is that they don't have a person that's specialized. So it's kind of like every day could be a different person.
Yep.
And it ends up not happening. The consistency. So part of this social selling is that building a digital footprint. And if you're doing it on an office, just like you can become like the world champion if you only show up to training like 3 times a week. It's kind of the same thing if you don't go to the reps. It's kind of the same thing with social media. Like if you're not there every day placing relevant content, then you're missing an opportunity. I think that there's a. Do you disagree?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think it's important to try to stay up on that type of stuff. The question is, what's the best way of doing that? Is it like having somebody who is in charge of it, or having people who are like on the ground, like knowing the property, knowing what's going on? So it's a kind of that balance of that best way of doing that. And it's a moving target.
In your mind, what's the next big thing that's coming out in marketing?
Oh, jeez. That's a good one. I don't know.
What's the
renter's journey?
The renter's journey?
I think so. I think they're steering a little bit away from the standard internet listing services.
Yeah.
And they tend to start with Google before they
Start anything. I had an interesting conversation about 6-7 months ago, and it was this. And think about how you subscribe to all the things you subscribe to. It's not that indifferent. And the benefit of thinking about things in terms of subscription models is a subscription model, you're thinking about that resident experience first, because you're thinking about, you build your business around the renewal versus you're building your business around acquisition. Like we're all on Netflix or whatever, right? You know that user experience dominates their architecture and their kind of design ethos. And you kind of look at like resident experiences emerging and converging into something that is more about the resident versus about the acquisition revenue. And so that shift of like rental, it's housing subscriptions. Yeah. And then you look at a generation that's coming in, how they buy things, like you don't rent Spotify, right? You subscribe to it. And so this whole concept of like, I realize it's a word, but the mentality and the shift of what that means to the renter and the tenant or the resident, however language you want to use, like that customer is now centric to the operations versus the operations serving, pulling from the customer.
Do you think that will change how these terms are set up and more?
But look at Airbnb's here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So you've got the short-term rental market is becoming a really powerful entity, and you look at even the restrictions that you're getting on Airbnb, and let's talk about like resort communities, right? Because they really have this weird kind of like ecosystem where you have big empty homes or apartments or units, and nobody can afford to live there, right? And so this whole commoditization of square footage and making it available for everybody to buy and rent, and shorten up the lease time frames, shorten up the short-term housing, make it all very available, shared. Thank you. Could change everything.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm going to be spending some time in Dallas. I'm going to get an apartment for a month.
Great.
Right. So I'm going to get.
Did you go through an Airbnb or do you go through the PMC?
I don't even know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll start with Google. Right. And I'll go through the click links through there.
Yeah.
But I'm looking to subscribe to housing for a month. Right. And I want to click out of it.
Yeah.
So it's a different mindset. And it would be curious. And obviously all these things are led by marketing, right? Because it's pricing, packaging, and how you put it all together. Yeah. I don't know. It's an idea. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but it's a concept.
No, I feel like multifamily, like something like that, there's still a level of like you're wanting to actually see what you're getting.
Of course.
If you want to see the apartment, you want to see the place, and when there's virtual tours out there and all that, but you still that level of like wanting to actually go see it and make sure that everything is what's supposed to be doing.
It's called.
You're only going to stay for a month.
Well, it's called a viewing for a reason, right? And I mean, Airbnb, they acknowledge that until they started taking good pictures, it was going nowhere. Right. So it started with a professional photographer, like in New York, taking pictures to enhance that first look. Because like we're visual, online can process visual and like 35 times faster than you can process words or inspect, and then even faster than reading. So we process visual. I mean, think about, make it even simpler. The first sense that you have when you're born is you have smell, right? Because that keeps you from dying. And then you've got, and that reminds you of your, it connects you with your mother. And then you have vision, and you recognize the people. And then you have hearing, and then you can speak, and then you can read. All those things happen because it takes more work to do those things. Yeah. But our core caveman, like the reason why we're top of the food chain is because of like smell, hearing, vision, and those core senses dominate our decision making. So it makes sense that it would be visual. It's called the viewing and pictures. Yep. And then what's that immersive experience like happen next? Like someone who just bought Matterport. Someone's bought Matterport. And Matterport was a big 3D viewing technology for new home sales, right? And now so because it's so important to see.
Everyone has Matterport now.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you don't have that, you pretty much can walk virtually through.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you're missing out on renters.
Yeah.
Zillow did. They had a
Was it Zillow that bought it? Maybe Zillow bought it. Oh, fact check.
They were just talking about how important it was to have those images on.
Yeah.
Like people are actually 25%. I think this is that. Like also fact check that.
Yeah.
Are going to leave your website if you don't have that information available.
Yeah.
They're not going to go to her in person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, it's so important. It's so important. There's just so many different examples of why visual is the dominant way to communicate.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Bert team. All right.
We appreciate you
Appreciate
taking
your time.
a few minutes to chat with us today.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Have an amazing show.
Oh, cool. So there you go.
So
So our social media business is still out there.
Yeah.
We can still do that one.
it's a lot out there. It's a lot out there.
All right. Should we wind this down pretty
All right.
soon?
Hello. We're live on
Payments?
LinkedIn. Would you like to be live on LinkedIn with us?
No.
You know? Okay.
Yeah, I saw you look over like Terry will do it. I'm like, yeah, no.
Not today.
I don't want
Not
to.
today. All right.
I look horrible on camera.
Okay.
It's okay. Would you like to say a few words?
Kidding.
I think we're okay.
That's okay.
You are so sweet. Thank
All
you.
right.
No worries.
We'll keep
Just
going.
wanted to ask.
I
Have
know.
a great
I
day.
appreciate it very much. I
Sounds
really
good.
do.
All right. Take care, you guys.
Want to kind of
Well, that's the first.
go back there? Yeah.
I've never seen a salesperson turn down a microphone before. It's the new thing every day.
Hey, so what's kind of your take on everything that we did today?
Well, I mean,
we're live for like over 90 minutes. We're pushing like 100
given
minutes
the few
live.
conversations we've had, it's definitely, there's a theme is OPEX, right?
Mm-hmm.
If people are looking, we've got one marketing company we saw.
Yeah.
One revenue generation, solving a revenue problem. Everyone else is solving OPEX. So that'd be my take, is that everyone's trying to save money right now.
Yeah. Well, I think people are trying to seize an opportunity too, because it gets harder to operate because now you only have two ways to maximize profits: increase rents and manage revenue, manage expenses. I'm sorry.
Well, I got to think that in the last 6 years, during that kind of boom curve, there wasn't a lot of attention being paid to OPEX.
Well,
Right? And so it just kind of
wasn't
just got
because
bigger.
the gravy train was just like in motion. The wheels were turning, and then when you increase rents 10, 15, 20%, there's really no pressure.
No.
Right? Everybody wins.
Why would you
without actually trying to like work like super hard, go above and beyond. Just operate regularly. You gotta make those. You gotta have those now that they're just gonna go. They're gone, or they're like fading away. People had to find different ways to manage that, right?
Yeah.
Control the expense, maybe save. Find savings.
Yeah.
Operate more efficiently, and that's kind of the thing. So I think that's the reason why a lot of the vendors that are here, a lot of the service providers are kind of seeing the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right there.
Very cool. All right.
How's it going?
Do you wind this down?
Rescheduled? Did we ever get rescheduled or?
Yeah, we you missed that.
I missed
We'll wind
that.
this down,
second,
Adrian.
yeah.
Let's wind this down.
You want to chat for a couple of minutes?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whenever you're free. You're busy.
Oh, we're doing a LinkedIn live.
You want to try live on LinkedIn?
Let's catch up later, okay?
All right.
Everybody, hey, you know what? We talked to all this amazing
It's
solution
been an incredible
providers and
show.
everything. We haven't really told to you. Tell us about
RSTX. RSTX. So we're a centralization solution for maintenance as well. And we help companies solve the really unbundle the maintenance problem. So we're a visual solution. So you can go and why I talk about visual so much. So you can dispatch, you can triage, you can remote resolve remotely versus having to roll a truck. So our thinking is that there's a lot of solutions out there to try and optimize the trip, optimize this, optimize that. The best trip for us is the trip that didn't happen.
You eliminate.
You eliminate the trip.
Optimize, you eliminate.
Eliminate. And so we find that on our platform, our customers solve 65% of maintenance requests in about 8 minutes remotely. And so that's and the NPS on that is around 90. So residents love it because it's instant. 8 minutes to solve a problem. Most of the problems that are out there are things like my GFC, I've got no power in my bedroom. Show me the plugs. Okay, you've got the hairdryer and the curling iron plugged in, GFCI's pop. Here's how you reset your GFCI. Garbage disposal, thermostat, AC, all those simple things like user error issues, our customers solve instantly. And that helps just reduce the amount of labor, reduce the amount of issues. And on top of that, there's a bunch of other things that happen with AI in terms of creating a work order. We've got to move in and move out solutions so that someone can walk around and the punch list is built into the video. And they kind of go through and they tick off all the things on the checklist so they can create their punch, and then all the work orders are created with AI. There's a lot of folks here. We're trying to save time. We're saving money. And one thing that we've also we're angling in on is that we reduce errors. And so we didn't dig in on any of those questions here, but the big thing about AI is it allows you to standardize and find consistency in your operations. And the truth is that if everyone is doing it differently at every single site, it's impossible. You can't automate. You're stuck. So we're one day you can be up and running with a centralized maintenance environment using your people, using our kind of operation and coordination software, and solving those problems. So we really want to make the centralization and maintenance thing really easy for people to adopt. So one day up and running, and it's a training and education thing.
What is the hardest objection to overcome when you're pitching potential clients?
It's typically I'll need to find people to do this. Our people don't do this. We have doers, not customer experience. Like they're not customer experience oriented. They're not as charming as you. And so that's usually the first thing that we hear is that, well, our people can't do this. And it's interesting. I mean, there's some truth to that. But when we do find people who get rhythm, they love it because they're not driving at night. They're not driving in the dark. They're not driving in the cold. They're not mobbing and demobbing. They're just solving people's problems. And we're really finding uptake, and this is counterintuitive, is more senior maintenance techs that are getting later on in their career that maybe don't want to drive around anymore, or maybe can't drive around anymore, but still have 30 years of knowledge around how to fix all these old things. They're the ones that are really being to adopt because they can extend their careers even longer, and they get to have that communication without the physical stresses. So it is interesting to see that happen.
Good. What are some great things happening at Iris CX next year?
So actually, this weekend we went live with our SSO, it's a single sign-on solution, and why that was important to go live right away is we're opening up our resident portal. Will be up in about 2 weeks because now we've got the single sign-on working, so it's easy for residents to log in. So that way, residents can go see the status of all their maintenance activity. So if a work order's been created and all the activity that's happening, the resident will log in and go see that, and in addition with automation notifications. And then subsequent to that, once we have the resident portal up, the supplier portal will come shortly thereafter. Where now we can triangulate the coordination of work between the resident, the owner, the vendor, those three stakeholders. And then that solves a lot of the back and forth, because what we hear all the time is that coordinators or maintenance techs, they're trying to just update people on what's going on, and that is a big part of their job. Like 30% of their effort is just coordinating.
Guillermo, I'm super excited about what's coming up for you next year. Thank you for your partnership. This has been a marathon show for both of us. We're an hour and 44 minutes in and counting, but we're about to wrap it up. If you guys, spend a few minutes with us and you want to get a flavor of what happened at OPTECH, this was the stream to be on. We appreciate it. We hope to see you guys on the next conference for another live stream.
Take care, everyone.
Have an amazing day.
Wonderful. This is a lot of fun.